welcome back to the Honor Recipe and to another edition of Raw Out of 10. I believe the last Monday Night Raw of the year, because I think next week is kind of like a year in review show, obviously taking place on Christmas night, so yeah, makes sense. But the Raw Rumble's just over a month away. We've got a big day one card as well, so yeah, there's still a lot happening in the world of wrestling entertainment. We started things off with the Judgment Day coming to the ring in full force to watch JD McDonough take on R-Truth in a Miracle on 34th Street fight. They talked for a minute before Truth joined them, before he thought he was part of the Judgment Day again. He's looking for a fight, so JD stepped up after some more joking around the insults. The match got underway. Truth used a lot of stuff to set up around the ring, decorations and weapons. Dominic Mysterio helped McDonough turn the tide, and the show went to break by shoving Truth into the ring post. These holiday street fights never get taken seriously. It's mostly done to pop the crowd and give wrestlers a chance to do some comedic for a change. JD and Truth did a great job making this feel competitive and still giving us plenty of reasons to laugh. After a mishap with Dom, Truth ended up putting JD through a table to get the win. Before the match, he jokingly agreed that the loser leaves Judgment Day. So yeah, we'll see where this leads. He's in it at the moment, but he's on it. But yeah, definitely needs some fun questions. R-Truth getting a big win, and yeah, I think creates another dynamic as well. So you can't complain about it. It was an entertaining start to Raw, 7 out of 10. The IC title was then on the line between The Miz and Gunther, but before that we got a quick segment with Nia Jax and Becky Lynch, where they settled the match day one. Nia Jax declared for the Royal Rumble, that's about it, fine, but yeah, that match will be good next week, obviously with their past history, but this ended up not only being just as good as their previous bout, but it might just be the best match Miz has had in a long while. The ring general did a fantastic job bringing out the underdog qualities in the A-list, and The Miz did an equally good job making him look like a real threat to the champ. Despite kicking out the powerbomb and a few other moves Gunther used to beat his opponents, he was unable to dethrone the champ. And yeah, this gets 7 out of 10 for me. Like I said, this is a really, really fun match, TV match, that definitely over-delivered on my expectations. Gunther retains, but The Miz yeah, really cementing himself as babyface with performances like that. Before it's time for the women's tag titles to be on the line, with Chelsea and Piper taking on Kaden and Katana. Nakamura tried to read a twisted version of Christmas Tale to Cody Rhodes, calling him inbred, that sort of thing. Yeah, it was quite over the top, I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, the American Nightmare then found him and attacked him, obviously setting up that big match for day one. Before it was time for that match, Piper and Chelsea tried to get it and cancelled, but they failed. It's hard to pinpoint what it is, but something about the first half of the match wasn't quite clicking, although something seemed to get better after the break thanks to the unique offense from Carter and somewhat of a surprising outcome. KC2 ended up winning the titles when Carter pinned Green following their finisher. And yeah, I'm not against this at all, to be honest. It gets 7 out of 10 for me. I think there's definitely more potential with them there. Chelsea can campaign and potentially get a push afterwards, but I think this is the right decision for the women's title. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do with it. Before it's time for Ivar versus Tazawa, after going to Pierce to request a match, Tazawa found himself in a ring match against Ivar. He came out of the gate hot and hit a flurry of strikes, but the Viking overpowered him. Tazawa then avoided a splash from the top rope. Maxine took out Valhalla at ringside, but Ivar was able to kick out of Tazawa's senton finisher. Ivar finished him off with the world's strongest slam off the middle rope. This was a better match than expected, but still pretty much a glorified squash match. They couldn't entirely tell the story with Tazawa keep getting into trouble against the Alpha Academy's wish. But yeah, Ivar continues to dominate. So yeah, this was good stuff. Enjoyed it. Before it's time for Jey Uso versus L Kaiser. But before that, Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre had an in-ring segment to hype up their title match at day one. As expected, this was them fighting until McIntyre left Rollins down and out. But yeah, decent promo from McIntyre, kind of baby facing it up. Rollins asked to say, you can kind of tell it kind of hit close to home as well. So yeah, this was an interesting little segment, but a good one at the same time. When Kofi was throwing some gifts out of the crowd, Ludwig and Giovanni attacked him, but Jey Uso made safe and set up the next match. It was a decent match that probably lasted a bit longer than it needs to. Having competitive bouts is always great, but there's little to no story behind it. It's sometimes best to keep it short, so segment segments can get longer. Both these races developed into world single stars and no longer need each other to be relevant. Kaiser has been especially good in recent months, so pairing these two together was going to get good action. Main event, Jey unsurprisingly got the win with the Uso splash. Kingston celebrated with him after taking out Vinci during the match. So yeah, kind of a quick setup, getting Jey on the show when he didn't really have much else to do. But it worked, got Jey a big win, and of course it's going to piss off Gunther, and that'll be intriguing to see where he goes when he gets back. So yeah, good stuff. The Judgment Day then took on the Creed brothers in the main event. Ivy Nile and Rhea Ripley were both at ringside to support their respective teams, and Brutus and Julius were controlling the pace for quite some time against Balor, but once Priest tagged in, he was able to turn things around with a huge clothesline to Julius. The way WWE's built out the Creeds over the past couple of months has been one of the better call-out stories in recent memory. They feel like a legitimate physical threat to anyone on the roster. Most importantly, have been getting over with the terms of each win. This is another great performance, which is even more impressive when you look at the fact that the Creeds have only been wrestling for 3 years. No Young took out Ripley at ringside, and it looked like it's going to lead to the Queens winning the belt, but Priest broke up the pin after they hit the big finisher on Balor. After a few more false finishes, the Archer of Ripley scored the win with the South of Heaven. And yeah, this was a chaotic match. Genuinely couldn't tell which way it's going to go, which really added to the intrigue. And yeah, I was kind of a bit surprised at the end of when it was. But you know, I think it was a really, really fun match, and undoubtedly, tag team wrestling in WWE is on a right high right now. But yeah, like I say, big win for Balor and Priest. But I think the Creed brothers still have so much potential. So yeah, not really disheartened by their loss at all over. Overall, Monday Night Raw this week gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I really enjoyed this episode of Monday Night Raw, I have to say. I thought, lots of the action throughout was really strong. Tag team wrestling was really, really strong. Really intrigued by the way some of the stories are going as well on the show. So yeah, on the whole, I really enjoyed this episode of Raw, and day one looks absolutely stacked in a few weeks' time. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. And also for daily wrestling news and subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.